And then there's some that have been, in orthopedics and in our practice for 20 or 30 years that are a little less, you know, uh, don't like the change as much and a little worried, is this going to affect my job, right?
Hmm.
Am I going to be out of a job? And for me, it was like, no, you're not going to be out of a job. There's plenty of work here for you to do. You're going to enjoy your job a lot more, because we're going to get rid of that stuff that you don't like to do. And so what ended up happening, instead of having, a number of people that had to all work on this process, I basically pared it down to one prior authorization manager, that manages my whole clinic now for all of our surgical auths. And so we have about 13 or 14 surgeons. And there's other people that data enter. When we built uh, some integrations with our surgical scheduling software so that, as soon as the surgery is scheduled, it'll automatically be built into, it'll automatically open up a case in Infinix. And so there's very little that needs to be data entered. So it'll just kind of start working on itself automatically. But for our rep, and I'll call her Jean because that's her name. Jean ended up being not like the person that does the work all the time, but ultimately the person that manages the process, manages the work, makes sure everything gets done. And so I think I would say she's much happier, and enjoys her job much more. And it doesn't mean that she doesn't from time to time have to call an insurance company to work
Hmm.
something out, or get a peer-to-peer, or provide support and do things like that. But that's a small fraction of her time now compared to what it used to be. And so she can look at 13, 14 surgeons, look and say, I can see all these cases that are already entered for the next 3, 4, 5 months. Know that for the next 3 or 4 weeks, 75% of them have already been authorized. It's Thursday afternoon now. There's nothing else that needs to be authorized, for the rest of this week, and there's only 3 or 4 cases for next week that I need to kind of focus on. So just to have that kind of, uh, you know, relaxed feeling of being able to feel like, okay, I'm on top of this. I can,
Right.
I can breathe.